And welcome everybody to the Okay. I just didn't see this tropical storm here.
Yeah, I didn't know we still had that shirt available. Hey, Maddie. Go ahead, Lewis. We'll do so.
All right, so everybody, welcome all the late night night owls to the final yard here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network, joined by Michael Quirk, Ethan Skolnick, Manny Diaz, and of course myself, Lewis Sung. And before we get too far into it, this show is brought to you by Everything Trade Shows. If your company does trade shows, or you need a trade show exhibit, but you need help to get going again, or maybe your marketing team isn't fully back yet, they're all out and about somewhere, you need a one-stop shop to get you back on your feet. Everything Trade Shows will handle the logistics, booth, graphics, furniture, flooring, and even some tips to get you noticed. They'll teach you the difference between renting and buying. They're based right here in Fort Lauderdale, but they can service you anywhere in the United States. You can schedule a free consultation, and if you mention 5 Reasons, they'll give you a free booth rendering. Just go ahead and give them a call at 954-791-8882. Again, that's 954-791-8882. Or you can go to everythingtradeshows.com, mention 5 Reasons, and get a free booth rendering, everything that you need for your trade show exhibit. All right, so let's get right into it. Oh, and we have Jacob Michelle popping in at the last moment while I was reading the sponsorship. How are you guys? How are we doing today?
We're good.
We're good.
They're 8-7, but I have a feeling. I have a feeling that's not where you want to go. So I will let you lead.
No, I'm all I'm going to say is, listen, you were going to mention Prize Picks. I made my Prize Picks. I was begging, screaming, desperately, so I missed him by 4 yards. Alvin Kamara did. I needed him to go over 50. I needed him to go over 55 yards. He got 52. All they needed to do was do one more draw play, and I would have won. But nah, we're not going to do that. So that's my frustration. But anyway, yes, the Miami Dolphins are now officially in the 7th seed, so they're no longer in the hunt. They are in, period. All they have to do is win out somehow, and they will be in the playoffs, which that in and of itself is a miracle beyond words, because 6-7 weeks ago, we were saying the season was done. Flores needed to be fired. Greer needed to be fired. And now here we are. I don't know what kind of voodoo magic, what kind of deal with the devil they did, but they're here. They're in the playoffs if they win the next 2 games, period.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were turning this over. Yeah, I mean, they're in the playoffs. I know that there's frustration from Dolphin fans tonight about kind of how this game was played offensively.
We'll get into that. We will.
But let's start here. Let's start with the positive. Defensively, they went against a young quarterback today who was overmatched, and they did to the young quarterback what you're supposed to do to young quarterbacks and what Brian Flores' teams typically do to the young quarterbacks, and Bill Belichick teams have done to young quarterbacks over the years, which is make them extremely uncomfortable. And I think you look at the front 7, but also the coverage, I thought, with the exception of the one play where Byron Jones got beat on kind of a jump ball, was excellent. Obviously, Agba had a strong game. Phillips came on late. Sealer, I thought, was terrific the entire game. And so I just think, you look at the front 7 and what they've accomplished. They played to their strengths, and they did what they should do tonight. I mean, honestly, I said it before the game. If you were going to validate in any way this stretch, you had to beat this team that was as beat up as they were. Now, that being said, offensively, not Tua's best performance. Particularly, obviously, I thought 2 of the throws in particular, but the 1 interception. But also the offensive line, was trash for most of the game. I think we could acknowledge that. Also, the officiating was not ideal. I thought that Eichenberg, got the worst of it on one of those calls. But they're coaching around their weaknesses enough to win, and winning 7 straight games in this league, no matter who you're playing, is really, really difficult. And I'll turn it over, to Jacob and to Michael on this now. I think we have to give them credit for being resilient at the same time as talking about the fact that they still have significant deficiencies offensively, with the exception of Jalen Waddle. I mean, where was Devontae Parker tonight?
He also messed up my Prize Picks.
Right, and look, they don't trust the running game. They keep bringing in Brissett on short yardage situations. To me, all of that stuff is negative and probably will bite them in one of the last 2 weeks. But for right now, they're in the playoffs. All right, Jacob, your thoughts?
I mean, you said it. Yeah, it was the Waddle show today, as it really is every game. Tua really didn't look at any other receiver other than Waddle, and the one interception he did have, he also had Waddle wide open in the middle. So, I mean, get him the ball every play. Obviously, you talked about Devontae Parker, 0 receptions, 0. I don't know how many targets he had, but he was not in the
Zero.
game. 0.
No targets. He was
0
not looked at all
targets, 0
game.
receptions, 0 yards. And then you just Waddle 10 receptions, 92 yards, and then the rest were. You had Matt Collins, the number 2, with 1 reception for 40 yards. I'd like to see Gesicki get more involved here because he only had 3 receptions for 22 yards. Gesicki is a Pro Bowl type tight end and should be more involved in this offense. And I'd like Tua to target him and find him more often.
Michael, again, we talk about Jalen Waddle, and I think at this point we kind of expect this. We saw how Tua missed him previously. I guess my concern offensively, and I don't know where it starts, if it's that the offensive line just can't be trusted or that they don't trust the quarterback, but it did seem today again like this was just kind of like just do enough to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. When I personally want to see Taysom Hill play. I think a lot of Dolphins fans want to watch Taysom Hill play just because of everything that's been leading up to this with what Sims has been saying. But you'll take an Ian Book game. You'll take an Ian Book game all day long. And the defense did exactly what they were supposed to do. They just abused him all day long, and the offense just had to make sure they were there to win a game. You didn't need to win a shootout. You didn't need to have Tua's best game of the year, and you definitely didn't get it. But Tua had some great pocket presence tonight. There was that one second down throw to Durham Smythe that they reviewed for some reason, where he dodged a couple of guys in the pocket and some absolutely horrible protection, made a really nice throw. There was another one where Eichenberg just did not get a hand on a rusher whatsoever, stepped up, made a nice throw to the left side for a first down. So it was everything that you needed in this game. You just wanted to go out, get a win, and stay healthy. And it appears that the Dolphins did that, had a couple guys step up when he needed to. Matt Collins down to punt at the 1 and also made a great catch on that deep route on the right side, and made a great adjustment on that ball in the air as well. So it was like you said, get the win out there. They did what they needed to do.
Louis, this is reminding me a little bit of 2008 in this sense. That team, like they couldn't stretch the ball down the field. Pennington made fewer mistakes than Tua makes, but essentially the idea was, just get enough. Just get enough. Play to the defense's strengths. Don't make as many mistakes as the other team and win. And they did it, basically to 11-5. I mean, the Wildcat was mixed in there, obviously, but they started 1-3. I mean, they won 10 of their last 12. This is feeling like that to me. That team was exposed in the playoffs. I feel like this team would be exposed in the playoffs, but they may make it there before they're exposed.
Honestly, I can understand where you're coming from on that, but the reason that I say no is because that team had a running game.
Yeah,
that team could run. That kid could run like nobody's business. And yeah, part of it was the Wildcat, but it's like you had Ronnie Brown, you had Ricky Williams. It's kind of hard not to run the football with that kind of a duo. Right. So my issue, and here we go. This is the moment we've been waiting for, right? The moment that I'm going to like unleash on this team, even though they just won 7 in a row. I am sick to death of this conservative, bland, I don't want to lose gameplay calling style. You're 4th and inches and you punt the ball away, even though you have all the momentum in the world. 3rd and 1, instead of letting Tua, even if you couldn't even just let Tua hand the ball off to Duke Johnson. No, you have to go Jacoby Brissett. And I figure, they want to do the QB sneak thing again, which I don't like anyway. No, instead you're going to let them snap it, do a play action rollout. And what was he supposed to do again? Exactly. Was he supposed to bootleg and run from there, or was he supposed to find somebody open?
1 yard, bro. He was supposed to get 1 yard.
Why didn't they challenge the second down play? Is what I understand. I mean, Gaskin had the first down, right? Like like Flores uses some weird challenges sometimes, and to not challenge in that one, like that's why I feel like Louis, there's this dichotomy here, because I feel like in one sense we should be giving Brian Flores a ton of credit because most teams would have folded after going 1-7.
Yeah.
but then it's like some of the in-game stuff. You're kind of like, okay, what is
going on here?
What is going on there? And that's why I say that they're an incredibly flawed team in what is this season a league of flawed teams. And I think they've kind of taken the attitude at this stage, just to counter you a little bit, Lewis, that they've kind of taken the attitude like, okay, we're not good enough to take chances. I mean, what Brian Greasy said about, and I thought Brian Greasy, I don't know. I mean, is he pissed that Jay Fiedler beat him out because he was anti-Dolphins all night?
Brian Greasy was a trash quarterback for the Dolphins and could not even sniff his father's jockstrap. That's what he's mad about.
Except for that one game in the orange uniforms. I think that was on a Thursday night. I recall that one. But I will say he seemed but he did say that George Godsey basically told him in 2nd and long and 3rd and long they might as well punt. Did he actually say? I feel like I
didn't hear it. Apparently some people did. I saw Will Monso said that apparently that was said. I don't know if it's true or not. That doesn't sound like something like any offensive coordinator worth having. Like that doesn't forget offensive coordinator. That doesn't sound like an NFL coach. That sounds like somebody who wants to be at home on his couch eating nachos while he watches the other teams do their thing every week. That you're telling me that you basically said I don't trust my offense enough to be able to get get a second, third down. Like, are you out of your mind? Either Greasy is making that up because out of spite, or Godsey needs to be fired like yesterday.
Yeah, the Dolphins are really.
I mean
the Dolphins are really racking up quite the bench full of washed up pocket passing quarterbacks who just trash them. That was
right.
Brutal with Greasy all night. And then you heard when the Saints had that long pass play at the end when Book just threw it up for grabs. He said, he's really giving his receiver a chance to go and get the ball. What?
Yeah, I know. Well, I will say this. I know it was a fill-in, but the sideline reporter, was she writing a book on Ian Book? Like, I felt like, I mean, everything was in relation to Ian Book. I thought she was going to start talking to like all the former Saints quarterbacks about him. It was a weirdly sort of slanted broadcast tonight.
Was it really that weird?
No, I mean, I'm used to this. I mean, this is sort of how the way that ESPN treats Miami teams of all kinds, actually, whether it's the NBA, the college football, or the NFL team. But it's just it was oddly slanted, and at the same time, some of the things they brought up are legitimate. I mean, Greasy did talk about the struggles of the offensive line. That's legitimate. I mean, seriously, like if you're to capture one photo from this season, it should be Jesse Davis picking Tua Tagovailoa up. Like that is basically like that is the story of the year. And what's unfortunate is that I did think that Eichenberg, Austin Jackson in particular, played better the past 2 weeks and completely regressed tonight. But it's overshadowed by the fact that the Dolphins ended up with 8 or 9 sacks on the other side. So I think this is a glass half empty, glass half full team and situation. But I think maybe we pivot forward here a little bit. They got Ryan Tannehill next week.
That would be the ultimate pain in the butt if it turns out that the reason the Dolphins don't make the playoffs this year is because Ryan Tannehill came back and beat them, because there's no Derrick Henry to make us pay for it.
Can this team move the ball against the Titans defense, though? I mean, that's my question. Like,
if they let Tua do his thing, I don't think there's a defense that they can't move the ball against. Yeah. Just by the semblance of what their philosophy is, it's quick hits. It's where's the open guy? Let Tua find his guy and just get it. Waddle can get open against anybody. Mm-hmm. Anybody. Mm-hmm. Just get him the ball.
But I think also when you see the game last week with the Titans and the Niners, what was the Niners' biggest threat? Deebo Samuel. If anything, Waddle is just as elusive and just as quick, right? Mm-hmm. So that right there,
more elusive.
Yeah, for sure, that Mike Vrabel watched this film tonight and said, well, listen, we know that Waddle carries this offense. We need to somehow maintain that and let others beat you. I'm sorry. You had no Malcolm Jenkins tonight. Malcolm Jenkins in his career right now, all he does is go at the line of scrimmage and go at tight ends. He was not available tonight. Mike Gesicki, come on, man. You got to do a little bit better of getting him the ball against whoever was actually covering him. And only 13 carries for Duke Johnson. I'm sorry. I need more of that. Like, that's just dumb.
Well, the running game tonight, though, I mean, just to be fair, I mean, they weren't creating anything.
It wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst I've seen from them this year, but it wasn't great.
It was better the past couple of weeks, not just last week. The one thing, Lindsey, I like the way Lindsey runs because there is no hesitation.
Yeah,
but also
there's no downhill. Mm-hmm.
But there's no wiggle. Like it's just basically he's a tornado, like just moving this way. That's it. I do think they got away from Duke a little bit too early. And I also think that throw a swing pass to one of them. I mean, they got the touchdown with Waddle with sort of a creative play, but I think if you look at Tua, I think it's getting in his head a little bit because I thought the throw that he had the underneath throw.
He was frustrated.
He was frustrated. He made the deep throw instead. And it's almost like some of the narrative stuff is starting to get to him a little bit the past couple of weeks because he's making those kind of throws.
We welcome Kai Chen Chisholm, who said he wasn't coming, but I guess he did.
Guys.
Hi, Kai. Want to say something?
What's up, y'all?
Hi. Why are you holding it? Okay. Anyway, so since you're here, Kai, wanna say words
on the offense?
You can't hear me?
I can hear you just fine, but
perfect. I thought the mask and the helmet would hurt it here. I'm only here for a few minutes, but wanted to make sure and bring the helmet on for a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. You have anything you want to bring up?
The Dolphins are the best team in the NFL.
And with that, Manny, can you get him off my show, please?
Sure.
Good grief. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's get down to brass tacks here. So yes, the Tennessee Titans are coming up next, and quite frankly, okay, are we gonna be serious now?
I mean, yeah, I'm here to stop anything stupid from happening. So yes.
Oh, Kai, I don't think it's stupid though when Lewis actually points out something that was quite observant, was that the offense didn't really 13 points against the Saints defense that really didn't have a lot of guys in the back end. That to me doesn't show any consistency as long as we want to see big plays down the field. The entire offense tonight was Waddle short, Waddle pitch, Waddle everything. So I don't blame when Tua tries to go down the field when Waddle's open underneath because he was frustrated. Right? I mean, all you gotta look is that deep throw to freaking Hollins, right? Like that should have been from the get-go mindset, not just wait to the third quarter where you're back end and third and long. I'm just gonna throw it deep now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, no, the offense looked horrendous. I'm just, they looked horrible. I'm not gonna be in denial, but we gotta ride the wave. Like we just got off of a win against the Saints. The last time we played the Saints was in London. They beat us 20-0, a shutout. The times before that, we've lost 3 straight to the Saints. We are now up on the season series, even though we don't play them a lot of times. We got to ride the wave. Like, I get being, normal and sensible and, whatever. But, like, we're going to kill Tannehill next week. And then the Patriots game, that'll be a determination. But Tannehill's going to get killed next week. We got to be positive. We got to bring some energy.
Kai, what happened to that? What happened to the helmet? I left.
I can't. I cannot hear if I have the helmet on. So,
anyways, Manny said Tua got frustrated, and
it's probably for the best.
He wanted to throw the ball downfield, and he got interception that one time. But what Luis was talking about is the offense is death by a million RPOs, right? So Tua has these RPOs,
cuts, yes,
by a million cuts.
But here's the problem, though, Jacob, and this is why I say that Tua is getting frustrated with that whole concept because it's not even the death by a million cuts thing. If they did that kind of plays, if they did that kind of philosophy, but they stopped hitting the brakes every time something went bad, Tua wouldn't start doing stuff like that. But this is what this was. I feel like this was a result of Tua just saying, God, why do you keep stopping me from playing? Let me do my thing. Mm-hmm. And so Tua decided to try to do something crazy instead of taking what was given to him because he wants to make something explosive happen so the offense stops getting called like it's baby's first offense.
Right, and you saw the offensive line struggle obviously tonight with those studs like Cameron Jordan up front, and obviously he was pressured a lot today. So I mean, you want to get the ball downfield, but you just the pressure by Cameron Jordan, all those guys up front.
Yeah. So real quickly, a question for Kai before he leaves. Kai, so do you go in with the same game plan as you did tonight for Ryan Tannehill? Because you understand the Titans got no Derrick Henry, and it's A.J. Brown against everybody else. Let's be clear here, right? I mean, A.J. Brown, yes. Is he a physical specimen? Absolutely. But he's not going to beat you off the line of scrimmage and go like a straight down the line, and it's not like X is not going to follow him per se. So
he gave me 31 and a half fantasy
with the same game plan, and you're going to pressure his ass from the get-go, and then, hey, we want Ryan Tannehill to beat us, right?
I think for Ryan Tannehill and the way that you have to play him is we saw 7 years of Ryan Tannehill. If you cannot stop Ryan Tannehill, and we know what Ryan Tannehill is, and there's a problem there. Just the same way that we were saying if you can't stop Ian Book. I mean, we know that Ryan Tannehill has pressure sensing or has problems sensing pressure. We know that without the running game, he hasn't been great. And this comment, and then the same thing. There was another one by Aaron. I don't know if you put that one up, Royal. That's why I wanted to come in and say something like you just won on Monday Night Football. I understand everything that we can talk about, and that can be happening. It shows Twitter and everything like that. It's like you have to have some sense of understanding that this type of situation, one, has never happened in NFL history. There's never been a team that's won 7 straight after losing 7 straight. There's never been a team in NFL history that has the chance to make the playoffs after starting 1-7. Like, we need some energy, guys. We just won on Monday Night Football. God, that's why I came in. Like, bring the energy up. We got Jacob down there. Manny's producing. He's producer extraordinaire. I can't say anything about that. Lewis, like, you're smiling. Like, guys, we got 144 people watching. We just won a hell of a game where the defense shut Ian Book out. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Like, we've seen these games where the Dolphins lose games that they're supposed to win, like tonight, and they reverse the curse. Like,
I mean, I
nitpicking
had
the win. We can do that tomorrow, but tonight,
I had
pop a
tomorrow,
bottle,
no,
take a shot. Like, let's celebrate. God damn.
You want me to? If you want me to be more happy, you need to get me back on extra yard.
I'm just saying in general, we need to, like, we were 1-7 and now we're 8-7. That is unheard of. We can nitpick on Twitter, we can nitpick anywhere else. But right now, after that win, like, hell, man, I don't even know. Get some Biscayne Bay Brewing, get whatever you need to get. Just have some fun. Be happy. Like, bring some. I don't even know. That's why I came with the helmet. I'm wearing a heat shirt, for Christ's sake. Come on now.
All
I don't
right.
even like the heat.
I
Love you, bro.
Okay. Kai, listen. I was not worried about the defense. The defense I knew was going to absolutely eat Ian Book for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In fact, it reminded me because I remember my mother was telling me the story about when Peyton Manning was a rookie going up against Dan Marino. They were watching that game. And my mother was like, "Oh, pobrecito," because this poor guy Peyton was getting absolutely ramrodded by the Miami Dolphins that game. That's what that reminded me of this game, because Ian Book is clearly not ready for the NFL, and he was not ready to have 8 guys in his face. And by the way, Zach Sealer, again, this guy, I don't know how he isn't getting more snaps. Zach Sealer, busted through a double team and completely smothered Ian Book again. This guy is incredible. We need to get him another extent. If you could list the name, there's actually a lot more
I
players.
mean, that was a hell of a deal. Was it 3 years, 15 million, 15 and a half, something like that?
I would need to look it up, but it's
I got you.
whatever it is, it's incredible bargain for the Miami Dolphins. But you know what? Sometimes a bargain is a little too much. Maybe you just need to be in good faith, you give them another raise. And it's not like the Dolphins don't have the money to do it, by the way. If you really look at it, Miami has enough money to extend all their people. You can give Xavier Howard his
2
money.
years 7.
You can
Just to be specific.
2 years.
2 years 7.
2 years,
They have
$7
him
million.
until 2024.
Yeah, so that's crazy. What kind of a deal that he's on? You need to give him another raise just on good faith. That's just my personal opinion on that. Just to keep him happy, show we appreciate you. Kind of keep him in his and keep him content, because he can demand a lot more than what he's getting. So Zach Sealer, Mike Gesicki, Emmanuel Ogbah. You got a lot of guys who need extensions. Nick Needham needs another extension. You got Duke Johnson. I'm sorry, Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson is fun to watch, Kai. You know it's true. He bulldozed one of those guys today. And by the way, when Larry Zonka says that he likes a guy, you better listen. Okay?
Yeah.
I think we're staying too deep into the faith of Duke Johnson.
I have no horses in that race. I don't care about Florida Gators. I don't care about the Hurricanes.
We've seen this multiple times. Multiple times.
Duke Johnson has earned
Exile.
his right to
Lewis wanted the post game show. Listen, you're gonna put
what
some
he's saying
comments
is
up,
that you need to let me in the pregame.
Hey, you wanted post game, we wanted pregame. I don't know. Well, listen.
But you're excluding me, Kyle.
Duke Johnson. No, we're not excluding anyone. Duke Johnson we're getting too much into this like aspect of Duke Johnson. Like,
I'm not
he
going to
had
sit here and
one
say
great
Duke
game.
Johnson is the franchise running back.
Kylo, you have to agree though. Last week that was quite impressive, and I do understand that.
It's the best running we've seen in forever.
Yeah. Like this man literally showed you that he can handle 25 plus carries at least for one game. It was just kind of unfortunate that tonight they made it the Johnson Lindsey show, each 13 carries each. And I felt like maybe that was the attack they wanted to go to, knowing that the Saints back end was weak. Yes, the Saints front four was still there with Cam Jordan and Davenport and etc. But they're missing their linebackers, they're missing their secondary, and for them to just go out there and just give it a Waddle and try to exploit that without being able to run the ball first, that in my opinion was just, again, the offense scored 13 points. Let's be clear here, only 13 points. I'm not trying to nitpick, but they only scored 13 points. I don't know how many games in this league you can actually win by scoring 13 points, but I'm gonna take
more than what the Bucks scored.
I was gonna say the Bucks got shut out.
Listen, the Saints have played the Bucks tough the last 2 years when Tom Brady's been down there.
Still
what?
The NFL is the NFL. The Saints shut out the Bucks. I understand it's a division game. I understand the situation that they're in, but the Saints shut the Bucks out, and the Bucks have been a great scoring offense this entire season. Like, and in terms of the running game, all the running backs are flawed.
Their top wide receiver went out. Their top running back went out. They lost their left tackle as well.
Yeah, but that was like midway through the third quarter.
What do you mean? You guys played tonight against a Saints team that was short-handed.
100% agree.
Tackles were out there.
I 100% agree, but they still scored. The Bucks unfortunately did not score. I guess it was the first shutout in Brady's career since the Dolphins did in what they said 05, 09?
15 years.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah. Like
that game was on Monday night, right? Orange jerseys on.
Oh, that one. Yeah. I mean, like, and with the running back situation, like, all these guys have to go anyways. We're not bringing any of these guys into next season. Come on, let's be real.
Why?
What do you mean why?
Because Duke Johnson. Oh my God.
By the offensive line.
No. You said running backs. You said running backs, not.
I'm not taking a single one. The only one I may be considering is Duke, and Duke and Phillip are the only ones I may be considering.
That's no running back. Those are the two I want.
No shot. You keep you only keep one of them. Savon's got to go, and so does Miles. They're not it.
Thank you, Royal. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry, Louis. I totally forgot about that.
I wasn't gonna bring it up. Like, I had already gone past that, but anyway, if this game shows anything, is that it kind of goes hand in hand with how they get a good running game. Yes, you need a really good running back, but the offensive line still matters. Like, the Saints still had Alvin Kamara, and he couldn't. He ruined my prize picks. He couldn't run the ball. He couldn't get anywhere.
You should have seen that coming. I'm not gonna lie.
I figured that it would I thought they would lean on Kamara all night long. I did not think that Sean Payton was dumb enough that he was gonna count on Ian Book.
I mean, I feel bad for Alvin Kamara. I mean, yeah, I feel so bad for him. And then you get Christian Wilkins pulling his towel, he's like goofing around with him, and he was just so mad, and he's on such a bad offense, and it's not really fair for him.
Is that really something worth getting mad about? Oh, he swiped my towel. Oh, big hairy deal. Like, good grief.
I mean, Christian Wilkins knows how to egg you on.
He knows how to get on people's nerves.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I thought that was the funniest part of the whole game, because Christian does that like at least one time a game and get a reaction. Then he starts flopping everywhere, which is also pretty funny.
Speaking of people who need an extension, Christian Wilkins, holy smokes, man. Like, if nothing else, just for the energy that he brings to this team, there's a lot of good talent on this team. It's just that the offensive side of the ball does not have what is needed. All we need to do, this is literally the only thing that needs to happen this upcoming offseason, and Miami's offense will be smooth sailing. Buy the offensive line. Pay for Armstead, Teron Armstead, Brandon Scherf, and maybe find an upgrade at center. See if you can get. Honestly, I think Ted Karras is better than Michael Dieter. So, like, maybe he can get him back. Is it really a stretch to say?
Karras with a pole.
Okay, but over Michael Dieter?
I would still keep Michael Dieter over Ted Karras. If you wanted to upgrade at center, you go out there and you got Creed Humphrey in the draft, and you didn't. And now he's one of the best, if not the best, centers in football.
Okay, I want a Creed Humphrey. I'm on record of that.
No, I know.
And
I'm aware. I'm just saying there's
I
like
wanted that. Who was that other guy? Dalton Schultz. I wanted him too. That didn't happen. No, it's not Dalton Schultz. That's the tight end for the Cowboys. What's the guy's name? The one that CK was all over him.
Wisconsin.
think about the right guard.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name either. It was in my head and now I can't. But I know who you're talking about as well. What were you gonna say, Jacob? You had a thought. Sorry, I keep.
I was just gonna say the way to fix this offense is to clone Jalen Waddle 3 more times and have him just line up at receiver at every single position.
I can't argue, but it's
if we could get another Alabama product like him, I mean, that's just like multiplying this offense times 2, and now you get.
You want a wide
like
I don't even want the Dolphins to draft an offensive lineman. Give me another wide receiver. Give me another wide receiver.
I don't understand why that's so many people's fix is, oh, I like this center in the 2022 draft. I like this tackle in the 2022 draft. What makes you think that this front office has, one, been able to evaluate offensive line talent, and 2, that this staff has been able to develop said talent? You can't get younger and just keep going cheap on the offensive line while going expensive with draft capital. Go and buy proven offensive line help, and that'll improve everything. Even if you do have the 2 popes as offensive coordinator who can get creative with Jalen Waddle, but then with anything and everything else, just decide to keep going at 1998 offenses with it.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna be real with you guys. Looking through the free agent pool, there is not a single center for a long term. Like I guess Ryan Jensen or like Jason Kelsey are kind of the short term considering the age. There's not a single center that you would draft long term.
Okay, so
keep long term.
Then skip
guards.
The
you're really looking at Brandon Scherf or bust, and then tackle is Teron Armstead or bust. And I mean, it just depends on, are you going to pay a 30-year-old Teron Armstead like $20 million a year over 4 seasons?
Is Andrew Norwell having a bad year?
Cannot give you a correct answer to that question.
I mean, Norwell's. I remember Norwell being pretty good. I know Dwayne Brown's older, but he's still good.
But not at 36. You're not paying him $11 million a year.
So real quickly,
you know what? If he's still good, I'll pay him $11 million because it's better than what we got.
So a quick question for Michael. Michael, would you rather have a consistent offensive line with no-name running backs or an okay offensive line with well-known name running back?
Oh, give me the good offensive line because that
good
makes
offensive line.
Everything.
Because in my
eyes, proof of that tonight.
I see it the same way because if you at least have a good offensive line going up front that's consistent, that can actually run the ball when you need it to, I think that's what.
I agree with Jasmani.
Yes, I know. It's like being in the moment. But if we're in the moment, then we run out of stuff to talk about, man.
What do you mean? We just watched.
I want to look at that Alfredo's comment. Liam and AJ both took phantom holding penalties because I thought that was important. Those 2 killed the drive 100%.
What the hell did they see? Did they call that on the wrong number? Or
I think they called it on.
There was just no holding.
Austin
on
Jackson.
either play.
No,
Austin on either play.
Dieter and Jackson, I could argue, did some holding, and they called it on Eichenberg. But it was not on the wrong. It was on the wrong guy.
There's holding on every single play, but not to the level that they call holding penalties. And on those, there was, if there was holding, then that means that they saw Casper the Friendly Ghost, and they were like Sam Darnold when he was throwing picks and seeing ghosts. Like guys, that just.
Is it me or was the refs this weekend just absolutely putrid?
They're bad every week, man.
Yeah, but it just feels like this week just took another level. Like beginning with the Browns and Packers, and all throughout the week, it's like now you're.
Wouldn't it be?
Like positions now actually matters in the playoff seedings, and coaches' jobs are really on the line, and players can be cut. And these guys just make shit call after shit call, and basically nothing's going to happen to them. Like it's like at some point you want better consistency with that.
Wouldn't it be amazing if the NFL hired full-time referees instead of hiring part-time referees, and maybe had them year round, and maybe they learn the game a little bit better and they can call games.
You would think that adding an extra week in the regular season will invest more money, but I guess they don't want to use it.
It's just a bunch of lawyers and Papa John's franchisees from Clearwater. And they said, go and manage our $1 billion.
For a second, I thought he was going to say West Palm Beach, but okay.
That was a good one.
I got you, bro.
That was a good one.
I mean, I can't argue with what the referees did today. It was really bad. Like like you could tell the home field bias was in full swing. Like they do not like when the Saints look this terrible.
Well, Lewis, no offense. It's Monday Night Football, right? I mean,
it's Monday Night Football, and they don't like the Dolphins being on it, and they don't like him winning.
They were hoping of something, so like the game could be a one possession game in the fourth. So at least everybody, oh shit, let me turn on the TV and watch this. Right? That's the whole idea.
That was
Y'all
a game
notice
for people
how-
that love defense.
Oh, absolutely, it was beautiful.
But nobody
y'all-
likes defense. They
But
like the
nobody likes
highlight
defense.
I
reel.
love it. I
No.
fucking love defense. I saw Emmanuel Ogba's sack, and sorry that I'm cutting you off, Michael. I saw Emmanuel Ogba's sack, that man, and when he fell, and there was another play too where two people came and collided. All it reminded me of was that sack against the Jets. I don't remember who the quarterback was. I think it was Bryce Petty.
And
When
Bryce
Ndamukong
Petty
Suh
and
and Cam
Ndamukong
Wake
Suh and Cameron Wake. Yes, because I
sandwiched
remember.
him.
Because I remember
what that
Bryce Petty
reminded
came
me
on to
of.
the Dolphins and he was like, "I remember what this was."
Yeah.
They asked him about it. Hey, remember the sandwich? Yes, I remember the sandwich.
Mhm.
I still have nightmares.
And he
is what
still
he said.
completed it 40 yards down the field to Robbie Anderson, which was also pretty funny.
Why you gotta be such a letdown? Why you gotta be such a letdown?
I got to put the helmet on.
Mhm.
The helmet is not a letdown. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. The helmet is not a letdown.
Helmet's gasoline.
There was a lot of stuff to be happy about this game. If you love defense, this was your game. Unfortunately, we're in the minority with that whole thing.
I mean, if you had the Dolphins defense in fantasy, you love this game.
No, yeah, there you go.
Look
I
at
guess
this guy.
there's
Look
Kai
at
right
this
there.
guy.
8 sacks for.
Oh
Did you
man,
win?
I love.
Did you win, Kai?
A pick six.
Oh,
another pick.
let me tell you, I had Aaron Rodgers, Jonathan Taylor, Joe Mixon, Devontae Adams, AJ Brown, Mike Gesicki, Jeff Wilson, and the Dolphins
Jesus
defense.
Christ! What? Like, how many are in your league? 4?
12.
Holy what? Bro, everybody should be fired from that, man. They don't know how to draft.
Oh no, it's just that I traded my entire team after week 3 when I was 0-3, and I've won 12 straight.
So there is something to be said about emptying everything out and trying.
Call me
again.
Chris Greer.
Mhm.
The offensive line needs to be emptied.
I
out.
traded Jalen Waddle.
Something that I love to see toward the end of the game is all game long, it was dude after dude getting themselves involved on that defense, whether it's Sealer, whether it's Baker, Jones. Brandon Jones had a big game. Holland, he got in on that sack. But that move at the line of scrimmage from Jalen Phillips on that final Ian Book interception,
That is uncoachable, Michael. He's a
mother
rookie,
of
right?
God,
He's a
it was
rookie
horrifying.
doing that. Like, can you just imagine him just being at least a 3-4 year guy down the line if he could do that as a rookie?
Ian
I wanna-
Book
I
just
wanna
looked at him
ask-
and said, not you too.
I have a question for Kai.
Sure.
Since
What's
you're a
up?
very optimistic human being, do you think
I am.
Coach
On
Flores
certain days.
is a Coach of the Year candidate after this streak?
Ooh.
I will rebuttal Lewis's on certain days, because if you ask my 3 co-hosts of the Extra Yard, they will tell you that when we were 1-6, I was still saying that there is future bright for the Miami Dolphins. So 1-7 was a little different, but after 1-6, it was looking real great. So I am a very positive human. If he gets the Dolphins to the playoffs, there's no other Coach of the Year. There literally is no other Coach of the Year. It's just
Really?
not possible.
Really?
It's just not possible.
Did you see the mess that the Eagles were in after week 6?
Nick Sirianni's an idiot.
Hey, I'm not
Him
saying I
and
don't
what's his
agree
name,
with you.
Brandon Staley,
listen, I'm
Chargers
still
head
mad
coach.
at
They're
Flores,
both
okay?
idiots.
You're still
I
mad
mean,
at
Flores is an
Yes, I'm
idiot
still
too. He
mad at
doesn't know how to hire offensive coordinators. George Godsey was getting all this praise on ESPN, and for
By
whatever
the way,
reason, I
I
have
don't want
no
to hear
idea
that name
why.
Gotsey anymore. Dan Brian Greasy made me actually realize how to
Not
spell his
greasy.
name.
It wasn't greasy. It was
Was
that
it
was
greasy?
Louis Riddick talking. That was
It was
Louis
Louis
Riddick talking
Riddick.
about
I
Godsey.
swear to
The
God, guys,
whole time.
I have never been more happy to hear Steve Levy's fucking voice.
Steve Levy
Swear to
was like the
God, bro.
mediator, which is usually not like the ESPN. They were horrible tonight. Like they were.
Man, I miss
bad,
John
but no.
Madden, Pat Summerall. Oh,
I
God.
don't think that you can have another head coaching candidate for the Coach of the Year if the Dolphins make the playoffs.
Mhm.
I just don't think it's possible.
You don't
If they go
think the
9-8,
Bengals
there's
head
no
coach-
shot.
The Bengals head coach.
I
Taylor.
don't even know. I don't think so either. I just think when you look at the stakes, it
Mhm.
just
I mean, because when you
there's
think
just
about
no
it, though,
shot.
being
It would be like
1-7
Lewandowski losing the Ballon d'Or to Messi. Like
Yeah,
that's what it
I
would
think,
be like.
Yeah, I think the point that Ethan made, though, for an NFL team to actually win at the way the Dolphins have been doing, and who cares who they played, bro? Like, let's be clear here. The Jets are still a professional team and etc. But to win this amount of games and being able to actually, in
Dominate
some
them.
ways, win it consistently and very convincingly, even though certain games it was like a 1-score game. Yeah, that's very hard to do in this league. But it makes you think, right? What if this offense wasn't so damn petty of saying, hey, let's keep it short, right? Imagine if they open it up just a little bit. Like half of these scores wouldn't be one-score games. Like tonight, I'm sorry. Again, 13 points to me wasn't enough. But, hey, maybe you can score 20 next week and win, or maybe score 10, and win. But it sucks. I wanted more, especially knowing that you still have Gesicki's offense that, he has these games, and you start asking yourself, man, maybe this can be something that can get even bigger. You see Duke's performance last week. You were expecting 15 to 20 plus carries, at least 80 to 90 yards, just pound the damn football, knowing that the Saints, all they had on defense was their front four. But
do you think that, and I tweeted it out during the game, and I guess like anyone, just because I'm like this thought, that we've seen the Dolphins, I feel like, open up more on offense when there are less weapons on the field. And when there are more, they just try to keep it so short, and they try to keep it so like pedestrian where even my 10-year-old niece would understand it. Is there any truth to this, or am I just going crazy?
It did feel like that the more they actually have at their disposal, the less they try to do. It's the weirdest paradox that I've ever seen in my life. It's like you have Waddle, you have Parker, you have Gesicki, you have Duke Johnson, who actually looks like a competent running back, and all of a sudden we're just going to be like, nope, not going to do any of that stuff that worked last time.
But Lewis, Devontae Parker, zero
targets.
I swear to God, in the second quarter, I believe in the first half, Devontae Parker lined up the wrong way, and I saw Tua telling him, hey, no, you're supposed to go to the other side. Dude, the body language that Devontae Parker gave after that play just felt like that's it. He was checked out. And I didn't see him do absolutely nothing after that. Like,
don't give him a target, though. That's some crazy stuff.
Maybe he didn't get open.
Parker's never
locked up by Lattimore the whole
per
game.
se.
Lattimore locked him up the whole game, and he's just like.
Well, Lattimore was on Jalen a good amount of times.
No. Lattimore tried to cover Jalen in the slot. It was just no way in hell.
And so did our guy CJ. But
bro, him and friggin' the other cornerback from Florida, which I absolutely
CJ,
love.
our guy,
talks too much shit sometimes.
He does talk
Carter Johnson, like, dude, like, just go in there and jam the guy and stop talking all this shit after each play. And every single time he's trailing Waddle, and Waddle catches the football. It's like none of these guys.
Wasn't CJ the same guy that told Tom Brady to get a new tablet or something on Twitter?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he
He's
had one pass
CJ's not bad. CJ's not bad. But
he had a pass interference.
He's not bad.
But pretty blatant.
Waddle made the Saints realize that their cornerbacks without actually communication with Malcolm Jenkins is just absolutely nothing.
Well, while there wasn't as much to be optimistic about on the offensive side outside of Waddle, the Titans also haven't scored more than 20 points in 7 weeks. In 7 weeks.
Dude, we're going to kill Tannehill. Like
Tannehill revenge game.
By the way, I actually posted the weather because people were asking me all over the place. So in Tennessee on Sunday, it's going to be 40 degrees, 40% chance of precipitation, and 61% chance humidity with wind of 13 miles.
Gotcha.
You run the damn football.
If you can. I don't know if Duke Johnson can run the football.
And
also, someone put up this comment.
I was just going to say, is there a 0% chance that Derrick Henry's out?
Yeah, that's true.
You really got to think of, Derrick Henry's not playing, but you really got to think about this. Like, with the amount of cases they've had, that's something to look forward not look forward to, but hope that you don't get a lot of cases. Because
I mean, guys, let's be honest here, right? It's hit the entire North America in all sports. Like, we have about 6 top 10 players that played on Christmas Day, came out positive today. You got to think that the league somehow tomorrow on the next day is just going to be the same thing. Like, it's not going to stop. So it's something that teams are going to have to keep.
Everybody's going to get it eventually.
Correct. And man, it's just
Like, there's no getting around it. It's just a question of, are you actually sick or not? If you're not, then you test out of it and you go out and play.
Well, now it's also 5 days with the CDC. I wonder how the NFL will adjust now, especially with what they did with the CDC. Like, I wonder if now they'll adjust again, and that would be for players like, Cole Beasley and such who aren't vaccinated, where maybe that is that 5-day period now. So that's going to be really interesting.
I think one thing is clear, though, guys. The NFL is going to play these games, whether they want to play it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
After all that talk,
it does not matter, bro.
Oh, if your players are the reason that you have a lot of COVID cases, we're going to make you forfeit. All that talk, bro. All that talk.
Because It is what it is. Anyway, anything else? Any final thoughts we want to get into before we call it a night? Because it's midnight, guys. It's like everybody got to go to bed.
I'm sorry to all Miami Heat fans. That's my final thoughts. That's why I'm wearing the shirt.
I want to touch on something that Manny said about being so excited to hear Steve Levy's voice. When they went down to Laura Rutledge for some commentary, and she said, I spoke with Danny Werfel, and Danny Werfel's advice was, I hope he enjoys the great Saints fans. And then there was just a silence on the broadcast. So what quality content that was. I would rather watch American Underdog for 24 hours straight than listen to that broadcast crew again.
Yeah, it was bad.
No, Brian Greasy is it just if you removed Greasy, it would have been better because Greasy is so bitter towards the Dolphins.
All of them, and then he went on this. Oh, I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. I grew up.
No,
a
you're
Dolphins
not.
fan.
Like that's what I said. It's like, oh my god, no, you're not.
Yeah,
You're
no.
so...
And then he mentioned on the broadcast towards the end, oh yeah, I was a Dolphin fan then. I was at that game.
Yeah, because your dad was the quarterback.
Dad needs to pop him.
I would say those guys because I did attend last week's Monday night game in Chicago. I mean, that's absolutely one of the best places to watch a game in that weather. I mean, that's football type weather. I'm glad I actually watched the game instead of having to hear these idiots, man. I totally forgot how bad they sound. It's even funny.
In any case. All right. Any last final thoughts before we call it? Because we got to let everybody get to bed.
We're around the table.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. There's no reason why they couldn't. There's no reason why they couldn't. If the defense keeps playing the way that they're playing, if the offense decides that they want to go ahead and play the way they're supposed to play, just be aggressive. All you got to do is be aggressive. And there's no team. I truly believe this. If they play aggressive, there is no team in this league that can stop them. I truly believe that. I feel like they are holding themselves back. And that's why I get frustrated with the coaches.
The Dolphins defense plays the way they did tonight. Next week they win.
And
I'm not even going to touch the offense because I have a feeling they're not changing that sort of mentality. They're not going to do it, right? Because it's winning you games. It's winning you games.
And they're going to beat Mac. They're going to beat Mac Jones with that defense too if they keep playing like that.
Oh,
the question is,
no, Mac is going to. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say that yet because I know that the Patriots always have that little dump off whenever the blitz comes that they're going to give to Mac. So that I'm a little worried about that.
Max looked bad though.
He has looked bad. He's looked terrible. I'm not at all impressed or worried about Mac Jones. I'm worried about the offensive scheming that gives Mac an escape route every time something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was what happened in week 1. I remember this. Like, here comes the blitz, and Mac just dumps it off to this dude who's wide open because everybody's running this way.
Kamara had 30 yards of open space if he didn't drop that one at the end.
Well, I don't particularly care about him catching footballs. I only wanted him to run it today. Yes, Manny, laugh. Laugh at my expense. Laugh at my pain. All right, we're going to go ahead and call it here. Big thank you to
people were able to watch backstage as this man saw Kamara get his last carry. He sounded so excited. Oh, no, 2 yards, no!
The agony, you have no idea. All right. Anyway, thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Manny. And thank you to Ethan for the time that he was here. Yes, the Tropical Swarm. And yeah, there's Miami Heat stuff, even though this isn't a Miami show. But Miami Miracle, yes. Okay, anybody with some actual Dolphins gear? I see Michael's wearing some Dolphins gear. I'm kind of wearing Dolphins gear. I got the Jason Taylor ping pong tournament shirt from the Jason Taylor Foundation. Awesome guys over there, by the way. There we go. Got a Tua Tagovailoa phone case there. And also, big thanks once again to Everything Trade Shows. If you need to get everything set up on that, you can go ahead and reach out to them at everythingtradeshows.com. You can mention 5 reasons and get a free booth rendering. All right. So, big thank you to everybody for joining us. We will see you all next week. Miami Dolphins are going to Tennessee to face off against the one, the only Ryan Tannehill.
What time
Good night,
is
everybody. What is it? 1 o'clock?
1 p.m.
See you at 4 o'clock for post.
All right.